Hello everybody, hopefully you can hear me. Managed to fight my way through Microsoft's slight technical gremlins this evening. We are now up and running. So, just doing all of the notifications of everything. So, give me a moment to do the stuff that I normally do before we've even got the stream running. Playing a bit of catch up tonight. Playing a bit of catch up, so bear with me. Right. Right. Come on. There we go. Right. Okay. Okay, do we have sound check? We have a sound check. Excellent. Good, 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 good. I am not talking to my... Well, I'm not talking to thin air. I might still be talking to myself. So yeah, was planning on being live 25-ish minutes ago, and then Microsoft happened. Turns out Xbox Live services have been up and down like a yo-yo today, and then Twitch had some fun and games. So, welcome if you've actually managed to make it. You'll have to give me a bit of a steer on how it looks from your end of the stream and how it sounds, because we are on completely new hardware, new console, new headset, new microphone, new everything. So let me know how it sounds, let me know how it looks, and we might be able to tweak some stuff. Yeah, so just let me know how it goes. And then I'll explain what in the heck we're up to this evening. Because it's gonna get interesting. Yeah, it's gonna get very interesting, hopefully. Hopefully. So yeah. Sound good for everyone? As in, my sound is it good, not the plan. The plan is as much of a plan as I ever make it. So, we shall see how this goes. Right, if I don't get any sort of response in a minute, I will assume the sound is fine. Well, actually, hold on. Alright, let's do this. Go. Apparently I am incapable of talking and typing at the same time. This could be a fun end to it. Right then, yes, so explaining this mess. This is an old project of mine. Oh, sorry, needed a hydrate there. Yeah, this is an old project of mine from a little while ago. Where I'm now going to show my my colours as a tabletop wargame player. Me and one of the guys from my server decided it would be fun to recreate the board game Space Hulk within Space Engineers as something that could be left on a server and people would have to defeat the Space Hulk. Now, these things started off small, and as most of my projects, ballooned dramatically straight afterwards. So, originally I just started by recreating the standard Space Hulk tile set. So, rooms, objective rooms, corridor bits, corners, crossroads, zigzags, that sort of thing. The usual boring sort of stuff, you know, but perfectly serviceable for a game like Space Hulk. It didn't take long between the two of us to realise that Space Engineers is three-dimensional. We can now have up and down. Oh, thank you, Microsoft, for telling me that I can now sign back into my Xbox. Yeah, so we can have up and down, and we can have big rooms, and holes in the floor, and all sorts of extra stuff. So we made some bigger tiles, and then we made some bigger corridors. Straight, curved. These are a pain, by the way. Trying to make curved corridors that fit the gates are absolutely fine if you're doing them straight. The second you want to go around a corner, this wall is a problem. A big problem. Yeah. You don't have many options other than to just stick random corner blocks in there and pray. So, and the inside corner is almost as bad, although we can. This is leading on to the project for tonight. None of these have been touched really since we got armour panels. So tonight's plan is to see if the armour panels can improve any of these tiles, because what I'm hoping to do is, as a, I'm not sure if it's technically going to be a Halloween event, but it's going to happen during October, so we're going to call it a Halloween event. I'm going to build one of these during the Wednesday stream that is going to get dropped onto a server, and I will upload as a blueprint so that anyone can have a go at it. As just a bit of a fun project. So yeah, we then scaled up, and that's a huge stairwell down. And then things started getting a bit out of hand. So we decided it was all well and good having corridors and stuff, but it didn't really feel like you were exploring an abandoned space station. So we started building themed tiles that were a bit on the big side. So we started off with a gas processing, so oxygen, hydrogen, a cargo, and a landing bay. Those were the three that started this big tile set off. And as you can see from the stuff scattered around here, it got a bit carried away. So we went from those, and then I decided to build a hospital/stroke medical facility. So you've got a hospital ward on this side, on both floors, and in this side you've got cryopods, surgery, and underneath this is a little sort of testing lab. So there's, because I am a firm believer in not making the same mistake that the original series of Star Trek made, there's toilets. For those that aren't aware, the original blueprints of the USS Enterprise had one toilet for 400 people. And it was in someone's quarters, it wasn't even sensibly placed. And we've also got a little snack stand, because every hospital waiting room I've ever been in has a bloomin' snack vendor somewhere. Especially if you're not allowed to eat anything. Right, so we then decided that a marketplace would be a good idea. So we've got a little bar restaurant with a kitchen in the middle. Some casual seating, some dispensers, some ATMs, some vending machines, some shops. We've got actual working store blocks kicking around. But again, all of this was done before we had the... oh, and in case you're wondering, the cargo back here is to supply the store blocks. Go away, pirates, you're turned off. You aren't meant to be in my save. Go away. You're not allowed, you're not allowed, you're not allowed. Thank you. Oh, and I have just realised I need to move that. My Twitch notification. Thing is in the... Right, sorry about that. Had to relocate my Twitch toolbar because for some reason it had put it in the bottom right and it was right over the top of a load of menus. So my friend made a research lab. So they're testing a Hurty Great engine that appears to have gone slightly wrong. That's using some of the special effects blocks. We then have a security centre. So, again, bathrooms, waiting area, reception. Possibly should put reception desk in, but we'll deal with that in a minute. And then you've got offices and equipment lockers and stuff down here, just, you know, generic security type stuff. And then upstairs you've got secure check-in, which will then lead you to a slightly more open plan office. Can look down over the front, and some holding cells. And each one of these, I didn't do that too badly, has got a little bed and a desk, just to, you know, fill the space up a little bit. Oh, and then we've also got production. So this is manufacturing plant type thing. We've got a mix of refineries. This really is going to get an overhaul now that we've got the fancy industrial stuff. It might be getting taller. Because I am absolutely wanting to use the big refineries and the fancy assemblers and everything. This is going to get... This block might as well just get deleted and replaced. So, and then we get to the 3 o'clock in the morning. We got absolutely carried away blocks. So we then added this residential district. We added... Where have they gone? Over here somewhere. Oh, there we go. We added some smaller residentials, a 1x1, and this is a pair of residentials on our medium-sized floor plan. So these are like 2-floor little apartment-y type things. So you've got a big living area upstairs with a kitchen, and downstairs you've got bathroom and shower. What else we got in here? Little sort of... I know it's an armoury, but I'm using it here as a sort of cupboardy, lockery type. And then down here you've got a little space that I put left there for decoration. You know, for when we're actually building this as a proper thing. Bedroom and a double bedroom. Just for that, and the other one on this is a mirror of that floor plan. We then started adding some more interesting stuff. So these are a couple of booby traps that were set up. So this one has got a whole bunch of timer blocks on here set on basically to create a randomizer. So as you're coming through here, some of these will be on and some of these will be off. It does random through all 6, but yeah, Space Engineers isn't meant to have this sort of randomised function, so the old timer blocks get a little bit out of sync sometimes. And this one is a devious little invisible maze. So what you've got is upward pointing welders, and if they are switched on and you tread on the wrong bit of floor, you get cooked. So what you've got to try and do is follow that pathway through the maze. It's a little bit mean in as much as you can't see it and it'll kill you. I didn't build it though, so can't be held responsible. Over here we also have a couple of extra landing and launch bays. So on the first one here, this was done because I'd watched too many episodes of Battlestar Galactica recently. So actually, let's go in from this end. It's far more fun going in from this end. So up here, I don't even think I've got these set up. Oh no, I have got these set up. I have to delete another pirate. So up here you've got sort of refit bay. You've got some cargo, you've got some rooms coming off of it that you can have as workshops or storage areas or whatever you want. And then you've got a fighter-sized hole in the floor, which will drop you down into a tube. And that tube... I forgot there's no gravity here. Whee! That tube, if we go downstairs, is visible in here. Around through here we've got another gate control. Now this side is meant to be an observation area, and there's one on the other side as well. Ow, there's a staircase there. And then on this side, if we jump in here, we can open the last door. And that will mean that we can now completely leave... Oh lordy. There we go, right. And now what you can do is you can go in here and you can fire yourself out of a launch tube. It is far more fun doing it with a ship of some sort, but this is the idea. And you've even got a little bit of service access in here that comes up under the stairs. Just in case, you know, something in here breaks. And then the final complete overkill moment was the main landing dock. So we basically stole, it's not conveniently one, we stole a pirate rust freighter, made it ours, flew it in here, and basically a rust freighter will fit one on either side of this slip. So a pretty decent sized ship. It will get caught by the mag clamps at the front here. These are just landing gear set to auto lock, but we can do a better job of those now. And you've got a whole setup here. You've got customs with contraband storage. You've got a nice broad walk area with some advertising panels that, you know, I've left blank so we can set them up as we need them. And then you've got a little waiting, you know, upstairs you've got the waiting area, and then you've got a little seating area while you're waiting for your ship to arrive in dock, and a little refreshment stand type thing here. But again, all of this done before we had armour plates. So there's lots of areas that are covered in horrible catwalk blocks, which I don't really like the look of. So all of this is getting redone. This is getting a complete overhaul. About the only thing that I'm definitely keeping is the neon running lights. That's a thing that needs to stay. So, but yeah, so that's the building blocks that we've got to work with. Oh, and this is something I do for a lot of my weird project builds. This is what I call a builder's palette. So what I've got here is every single block that I might use in the build. It's stuck down on this builder's palette, so that I've got a quick reference to go, okay, what have I got? What are my options? So that's all the way through here. That block is because when I built this one, I wanted it to look like a ruined space station that had just been abandoned and left to rot. So this was a colour palette test, which meant that once I'd got that colour palette sorted, I could just pick it up every time and I didn't have to worry. It would always be exactly the same. Now this isn't the finished version. If I pull up the PCU, this world is so populated that I actually had to finish the tile work. So I pulled all the tiles that I needed and pasted them together, and then I actually had to take this to a completely separate save file for finishing. So it's not the prettiest from the outside when it's finished, because it's literally just a blast door armour block around this thing, because it's pretty much meant to be sunk into an asteroid and then dug out so that people can move around inside it. It's not meant to be seen from the outside. So, you know, things like this landing bay, there's meant to be a stone tunnel coming out from that, same as this lower landing access way here. You've got some catwalk tunnels, but the rest of it is a stone tunnel out to wherever the exit of the asteroid is. Same with this little doorway here, or it can hook around and join up to this. You know, the outside of it isn't really meant to be seen. And then over here you've got a whole brace of launch tubes left and right of the main structure. Around here you've got another secondary landing area. So we've got quite a mix of stuff on here, but all of the internal decorating, setting up all the interior arming of the thing, all of that had to be done in a separate save file, because it was just too big. So, I mean, if you come in here, you've just got little rooms like this that don't even have a roof on them in this build. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff that I had to go away and finish elsewhere, because we are so low on PCU in this world. Incidentally, this one is up on Mod.io. The finished version of this is on Mod.io. So yeah, if you did want to have a go at it, you can go and find it. In fact, what I might do, if I'm being creative about this, bear with me for a moment. Hey, there we go. Interesting. There it is. Space Hulk SE test map. That's the one we're after. Let's just pop a little link to that. Hey, there we go. Not sure why that came up. There we are. Right. So that is the finished version, at least. Just to give people an idea of the sort of thing we're aiming for here. Oh, bear with me for a moment. I just need to tell work to go away, so I'm going to go mute for a second. Right, sorry about that. The joys of work not quite understanding when you are and aren't on call. I at least had the good sense to have my work phone on silent. I suppose in a minute we'll find out if my personal one is, because they're probably going to try that as well. Anyway, oh yeah. So yeah, anyway, this thing is finished. I don't need this one anymore, so we're going to get rid of it. But I just wanted to show everybody what a finished one of these looks like. So we'll get rid of that. And we're going to start fresh. Now I'm not sure how big I want to go with this. Part of me really wants to use the huge dock again. Oh, actually, that's the other thing I completely forgot to mention. Our server now has mods on it. So we actually have access to modded blocks that we can use. And we're not limited just to the vanilla. So that will give even more flexibility for what we can do. So... Right, I think I'm going to start by overhauling the map tiles. I think that is the sensible place to start. So, first thing I am going to do is start putting industry blocks in. So, because that just looks cooler. It does have the problem of being completely less practical. But we can now come up with something much cooler looking for these hydrogen stacks than what we had originally. I'm going to pick a smaller block for deleting. There we go. So we can just clear that out, and you'll notice the floor of this place is absolutely covered in gratings, because I needed something to break up these huge areas of flat repeating floor plan, and I didn't have anything else, so yeah, there's that. So we can clean all of those out just to give us a nice open area to work with. And again, in the middle we've got armour plates or catwalk plates down, just to cover huge areas that we've got of just unbroken repeating blocks. Clean all of this out. Let's do a bit of a reset. We'll leave a bit of what we laughably called scatter terrain. That will show you exactly which game systems I've played growing up, calling it scatter terrain. Go, clear all of those out. Right, that's that cleared. Zoom all the way down. Nearly cleared all of this out. Actually, I'm gonna clear all of this hydrogen stuff out, same as the other side. Oops, I appear to have deleted part of the floor. That's going to happen a lot, isn't it? And they've moved that block as well. It's under there now, isn't it? Yep, it's under there now. Right, okay. Fine. We'll use that as my delete block then. Find space engine. Do it my way. There we go. Don't need the wall. Deleting all of the things. Right. Clear all that out. That's just... Whoa. Back to line. Line is safer. Right. So, that's all of that cleared up. Oh, that was the random block that I deleted. I wondered what I'd deleted. So yeah, the reason for all these armour plates is because as nice as that texture is as a detail block now and again, it looks really bad when it's just repeated everywhere. I mean, so do the catwalk grates, but it got to a stage where all you could see everywhere was lots of little emissive light dots. And that looked horrible. Utterly horrible. So, yeah. Definitely needed covering up. We might be able to do a better job of covering it up now. So, let us see how we can get on. So, this is going to be our hydrogen refueling tanks for whatever ship is docked in here. Now, let's chuck a good 3 of these in, because these are nice, big, chunky tanks now. Don't hold any more, but hey, this is more about the aesthetic than anything else on this one. I'm really annoyed we don't have a T-junction, we've just got these crosses, but it is what it is. So I'll put that in there. Actually, we should have really got another cross in there. And I'm going to take advantage of this to have a bit more detail. Oh, there we are. And get our O2H2 generators in there. They actually do a bit more. And we will then have, with our flanged pipe there. I have just noticed that I am gonna need... That's interesting, it's not doing it. Oh, Xbox don't change. Apparently the Xbox didn't keep the settings to make sure everything lined up with my TV screen. I've just noticed that I'm missing about a centimetre off the left hand side of my TV. That's really annoying. Okay. And one of the things that I have done on previous builds like this is, instead of having just a connector there and no obvious use for the connector, yeah, we use the block. That one, that's what I'm after. I've got a couple of little buggy type vehicles. In fact, do I have one in one of the blanks? I can't remember. A little buggy in one of these? No, I think it's gone. Well, I say gone, I don't think I'd put it in on this. But yeah, there's a little, I call them golf carts. In fact, let's do a save. Let's bring in a golf cart so you can see what the heck I'm talking about. Perfect. So we will slap down a grav gen. Oh, apparently we were already in a grav field. Interesting. Wonder what around here's got gravity. Anyway, and let's load a blueprint. Oh, I've not loaded a blueprint on this Xbox. Oh, hey, that was a lot faster than I was expecting. Oh, I spoke too soon. I'm going through multiple sync data screens at the moment, chat. Please bear with. So how's everyone out in Chatland tonight? How are we all doing? While we're sitting here waiting for Space Engineers to finally let me access my blueprints. How is everyone out there in the world of chat? Well, that's assuming it actually lets us load this blueprint, because I am still getting syncing screens. Just zipping across. I'm glad you can't see them. because they're really boring. They're probably no more boring than staring at a static bit of Space Engineers background. Unfortunately, I wanted to get all this set up beforehand, but this was a little bit last minute, this stream. So if it doesn't finish faffing about soon, I'm just going to cancel it out, and we'll keep going without the go-kart. Although we do kind of need the go-kart, so it'll be a bit annoying. Oh, and there's the missed call from work on my personal phone. Never mind. Right then. Oh, come on, SE. You can do it. Up to 78%, supposedly. Oh, and then it resets to 28. Excellent. Ah, hello, Dovahkiin! Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing this evening, Dovahkiin? Are you good? How much of my rambling have you heard so far? We're currently waiting for Space Engineers to decide to let me access blueprints, so... Though I get the feeling that Twitch may be having some issues, because on my I've got the stream running on another device so that I can read chat, and I'm seeing every single message on my stream overlay twice, so that's a bit weird. Just come in. Fair enough. Well, welcome, welcome. You might have some interesting input on this one. This is very much a silly project. Stop that happening, please, Space Engineers. Come on. The joys of a new console. You have to try and sync everything up. But yeah, so the plan for this evening is to start work on recreating the board game Space Hulk in Space Engineers. Now, I've done a lot of the groundwork for this, because this is not the first time I've attempted this project. It is, however, the first time that I've attempted this project whilst I've been streaming. Right, well, I'm going to have an argument with Space Engineers at this point. Come on, Space Engineers. Oh, cool. I'm glad you're making some progress again. I'm glad you are making progress. Right, looks like we're just along for the ride. I can't actually cancel the sync that it's trying to do now. So yeah, the plan for this, we may as well have a chat. I've got a whole bunch of floor tiles, which I will show you shortly. And we are going to start putting them together and then decorating, plotting them out, etc. Well, we're going to update them first, then we'll start putting them together. With the view that I will be putting a finished map, for want of a better word for it, as a blueprint that people can just paste into their own worlds or onto a server and have it as a bit of a event thing that people can try and puzzle their way through. Now, I have put a couple of these out there before. In fact, as you were late in, Dovahkiin, I will give you the link again. So this is the sort of thing we're trying to build, just as an example, whilst Space Engineers is having a funny 5 minutes. Oh, and in case anyone was wondering about the late start, Microsoft had a complete failure of the Series X sign-in system for Xbox Live. So if you had a Series X, there was like a 60% chance you couldn't sign into your own console. Yay! And they didn't resolve it until 20 minutes after I normally start streaming. Until today, I was on an original first shipment Xbox One. I am now on a Series X. I managed to get hold of one. It turned up this morning. It's been set up, and apparently I picked the wrong night to try and do this. So yes, I now have a Series X, and I hate to say it, but the limited running time I've had on Space Engineers with it, it's like playing it on a different machine it's like playing it on a PC. The load times are crazy fast. I've had some teething issues, I'm not going to lie. There have definitely been some teething issues getting it set up, but that's to be expected with a Microsoft product, let's be honest. Not helped by both Microsoft and Twitch having an outage this evening. If I'd started streaming at like 6:30, I'd have been fine. But after I came out of Cars's stream earlier to try and set mine up, it wasn't working. So, all fun and games. Oh, and I am now regretting loading my blueprints menu because it's not loading at all. Oh dear. Actually, on that note, let me know if the audio's okay. Let me know if the video quality's okay, because whilst it tells me it's transferred all of my settings over from my old console, I don't believe it. So, if there's any weird audio or anything else, I managed to get it from Game of all places. They had a stock in, but they only had them for sale if you did it with Game Pass Ultimate for 2 years. You couldn't just buy the console on its own. You had to buy it with Game Pass. And they didn't tell you that. You had to figure that out yourself. So it wasn't very obvious. I just got lucky, basically. I was messing about because my Xbox has been making some horrible noises. I'm not going to lie. It's soldiered on. I mean, it is an original first run Xbox One. It's old. But it's done good work. It's now going to get retired to become the either the kitchen or the bedroom DVD player. But it was making some horrible noises, so I decided to give it a nice retirement rather than waiting for it to explode. And got lucky and found a Series X. So definitely not going to complain about that. I will say they're a lot quieter than an Xbox One. That's for certain. Right, if this doesn't hurry up and figure itself out, I am going to have to crash this out and start all over again. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, it was not cheap because it came with 2 years of Game Pass and you had no choice on that. So it was about 650 quid in the end. But yeah, just if you are looking for one, the Independent newspaper has on their website a Xbox One and PlayStation 5 stock tracking live update service. So I really recommend having a look on there. because they're only coming into the country in like batches of 20 that are getting spread around the whole of the UK. Hey, there we go! Finally! Damn. I suppose that's what happens when you've got 236 meg worth of blueprint stuff. So now we can get on with this. Golf. There we go. So, what I was trying to show you is that I've got these little guys, which are little golf carts. And if we flip ourselves upside down, there are some artificial mass blocks and some gyros in the bottom of the chassis, which means that these little things will quite happily drive around in our low gravity environment, and our artificial gravity environment. And more importantly, they'll fit through a gate. So you can actually drive them around the whole map if you want to. And yeah, I've got one for hydrogen, and I've got another one for cargo. So what I'm going to do, grab a copy of that and come over here. I'm going to set it up so that we've got a little unloading station for one of those here. Which does mean I'm going to need to temporarily have gravity in this area. There we go. Right. Now from what I remember, these need a half block lift to line up with a connector properly. So, let's sort that out. How do I want to... That's what I really want. Ooh, actually, that could work. Let's just give it a bit of shape. That's possibly the wrong shape. Okay, let's get the platform in first. It's going to be the easier bit. So it's, how long is it? It's going to need 2 flat and then a ramp? Yeah, I think 2 flat and then a ramp. 1, 2, and then a ramp. Put our ramp up, we will then drop those in, and now it's just a case of coming up with something that looks good on these angles. I mean, we could just have a straight bar across the back. That feels like a bit of a cop-out almost. Unless we do a straight bar into one of those? Maybe. I don't like the top of that, so anyone got any ideas, let me know. This is the whole reason I wanted to do this with chat here, is ideas. Ideas, ideas, ideas. Bring that back. Ooh, apparently it wasn't a half block height. Oh no, it is a half block height. There we go. You've got to jam it in there. There we are. I wonder if I can get away with that on the floor. If I can get away without having all of this convoluted... Oh, there's another hole in the floor. Oh yeah, I'll say that now as I've mentioned the new console. Trigger response times on the Series X versus the Xbox One. really, really, really fast. I've actually had to turn the triggers down. The only reason I haven't built this on beta is... Oh, I didn't actually show you the full tile set. You see all of these map tiles, Dovahkiin? These only exist on 2 worlds in my offline worlds. They do not exist as blueprints or anything, so I have no way of getting them to beta without either uploading them, which I don't want to do, or recreating them by hand. And I know why you're saying build them in beta, because of the unlimited PCU, but I don't actually want a PCU hog, because you'll never run it on a server. You want something that is not massively PCU heavy. That was something we found out with the old map, because the old map we had was something like 190,000 PCU, and it just ran like an absolute dog. It just did not work. Yeah, that'll do. Get a bit chunky on here. But yeah, so we are looking to keep this a little bit more reasonably sized than the previous build. And as that's literally the only difference between beta and release version of SE these days, and I don't fancy recreating all of those map tiles, we'll just stick with vanilla for now. Oh, come on. Are we that close? Right, did I group? I did group the wheels. Increase height. And decrease height. That's the one. Hey, look at that. That works. I mean, it's a golf cart, it doesn't have to be perfect. I much prefer having that set up rather than having this big platform of ugliness sat there. I much prefer that idea. Anyway, so we have our gas storage system up and running. And we could do with something similar over this side. Do we put gas in here, or do we put some... No, we put some gas in here. We've got dedicated storage rooms. Yeah, so basically, Dovahkiin, actually let's I've got a smaller test map. I'll load it in now that we've got the blueprints working. I'll load it in and give you a feel for the sort of thing we're building here. Oh, you're going to make me sync it all over again, Space Engineers. If you do, that's not cool. Oh, that's going to get old real fast if they're making you sync data every time. Oh no, good, right. So they sort of make you do it each time. Wonderful. Okay, oh, we've actually got the fitted out one, that'll do. Yeah, so this was the one that actually tested okay. So this is sort of a finished example of what they look like. And the idea is you drop this onto a map, give it to the space pirates, and then everything in it becomes hostile. Now, all of the doors are set that anyone can open them, or you can set it up so that people have to grind their way in, and you've got multiple entrance points, so there's a couple all tucked away down this end. And what we have set up, bearing in mind this is old, this was when Warfare came out, so this is quite an old setup. So you've got a stairwell in here, they've got to come down, all without gravity, and you've got a turret guarding the stairs, which would be hostile as they came through. You've got little containers set up with health pickups. You've got a corridor here with turrets strategically positioned to be an absolute pain in the neck to deal with. So you'd come down here and think, turret, pull back, deal with it. Great, I've got the turret. Come around the corner, get a shot in the face. You come through here, you've got another door to deal with, and this is evil. That turret can shoot through the gap and can shoot through the weapons slot. That's mean, and it's hilarious watching people try and deal with it, unless they were smart enough to bring a rocket launcher, in which case the whole thing vanishes. But in here, you've got this, and the sensor, when it's set up for detect hostiles, will actually shut and lock the door behind you if you break into here. And all of these are filled with rifles and yeah, I think it's all rifles in this one. Yeah. Oh no, and there's a grinder. And then out here you've got some empty O2 bottles and some pistols. You know, a few odds and ends. And you've got special rooms like this one, where you can use that to turn this survival kit on. And you know, this is a bit of a respawn point that you can set up. So you know, you can dump loot in there. So you've got it if you respawn. You've got some med packs. It's this sort of claustrophobic corridor fighting that we're trying to recreate. And you've got random rooms that come off here, you know, complete with not so random turrets guarding the loot. What have we got in there? Zone chips? Yeah. So, zone chips and uranium. Sort of stuff that everybody can appreciate the use for. And all of these are created... this is going to be the quickest way back out. I'll just show you the landing bay. These are created by... going through hydrogen processing. Maybe this isn't the quickest way. Oh yeah, landing bay gets angry. If you open the door, those turrets turn on and get really angry with you. Yeah, so those are created by literally pasting these tiles together. So you would just go, I want one of these rooms. So we'll just copy that. And we will paste it there. And I want a corridor attached to it. So we'll go there, copy, fly up here, and then go paste. And because of Space Engineers, you can quite happily paste these together and they become a single block. So you can join stuff together like that, and now you come here, you've got a door that takes you into a corridor that takes you to an airlock. That's the sort of thing we're creating, but on a much bigger scale. So the first task is to update these to take advantage of some of the new blocks, and then once we've updated to the new blocks, which will probably be, you know, we won't get that done by the end of this stream. There is going to be a copy taken of this world, and then I'm going to do modded versions of these map tiles, because obviously servers now have access to mods easily. So that's not a restriction anymore. So yeah, hopefully that answers your questions, Dovahkiin, about exactly what lunacy I'm getting up to at this point. Right, yeah, we need more gas storage. This is meant to be refueling for your ships as they come in. Do I just recreate what I've got over here? I think I might. Let me just recreate this just to keep it simple. 3 of those across there. Some tubes. There. There. And there. We then need tube out. Tube down. Let's have, yeah, one of those again. Do I want it? No, I need to go all the way down this time, don't I? That way or that. Let's mix the pattern up a bit. Then there and there. There we go. Look, I actually found a use for round blocks. Right. There's 2 ways of looking at that, Dovahkiin. If you build it unmodded, you know you will be able to use it in every single version of Space Engineers. It'll work PC, Xbox, official servers, unofficial servers, if you build it unmodded. If you build it modded, and there are a lot of mods that I know you like playing with in particular, you are entirely reliant on servers and saves with that collection of mod packs. And if they don't have them, you can't use your build. So what I usually do, and this is a purely personal preference, is everything I build, I will design and build a completely unmodded base Space Engineers version, and then once I've got it working as an unmodded design, I will then create a copy of it and build a modded version. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, that vanilla version doesn't get used anywhere near as often as the modded version. But I now know that if, for example, I wanted to, for some unknown reason, play on the official servers, I could still use all of the vehicles that I've designed, know how to use, have practiced manoeuvres, you know the stopping distance, all of that stuff. I know that I've got blueprints of them that will work on the official servers. So it depends how much you care about your design being sort of universally available, if you like. I actually prefer them that way up, I think. So, I mean, modded allows you to build stuff that you just physically can't. So, like, for example, that fighter that you asked me to build. There is absolutely no way I could have built that in vanilla. There are angles on that thing that do not exist in Space Engineers. Hell, there's angles on that thing that didn't exist in modded Space Engineers. So, obviously, it depends on what you're building, but my personal general rule is build it in vanilla first, and then if you need to, make it modded. And I will fully admit, that is actually a change from my view when we first got mod support on Space Engineers. I didn't like using mods, but I now do. So, you know, opinions change, and at the end of the day, it's your game, your build, do it your way. Just because some random person that happens to be streaming Space Engineers says do it one way, does not mean that's the right way for you. So just, you know, keep all of that in mind. It might be the right way for me, but that doesn't mean it is the only right way, especially in a game like Space Engineers. This is a game about being creative and doing your own thing. So, you know, do that. Be creative. Find your own way of doing it. I was talking to Panzer during Carcer's stream earlier, and we have incredibly different styles of building, me and Panzer, but neither of them are wrong. He likes super detailed, you know, really intricate interiors and exteriors. I prefer my heavily industrialised builds. You know, the function dictating the form rather than the other way around. So you've got to find the build style that you're comfortable with and that you can execute time and time again. Because there is absolutely no point you having a build style that you're not comfortable actually building with. That is the number one thing I would say to anyone looking for advice when you're doing a building game of any sort, is don't just blindly take someone's word for it that this is the way to build something. I mean, by all means, ask people what they think. You know, that's how you're going to learn the basics, and that's fine. But always, always, always try and find your own path, as it were. God, I'm going to look forward to replacing those with rotary airlocks later. But yeah, just find your own way of approaching the builds. We actually have a block for this now. Or do we not? We may not. I may be going mad. We don't have a block for this now. Oh, we have a block for it when it's that way up now. That's the one. Dang it. Yeah, I don't think there is actually a block that fits that corner. Grr. Why you do it to me, Space Engineers? Why? Oh, no, there might be. I may be incorrect. Look at that. There was a block after all. Leave that as is, I think. It's just going to be too much mess to adjust that. Or do we stack the armor panels so that they go up to the wall and support the ceiling instead of having the weird thick? Do we do something like that instead and give it a bit more height to play with? I think I actually kind of prefer that. Gives you a bit more headroom, and also means that I can put some damn lights in this place at some point. Oh, that's the other thing. Corridor type 2 with lights, please. Keen? Thanks. Right, these all need switching over to armor panels. Holy heck. Do I hate catwalk blocks with a passion. Oh, apparently my engineer is in the way of that particular block. There we go. Right. Much better. As you may have guessed, Overkin, as I haven't said anything to you about your Rover, no, I have not had a chance to look yet. Nor have I had a chance to look at your YouTube intro or anything like that at all. It has been a pretty chaotic couple of weeks. So I just haven't had a chance to do much of anything. I actually got back to some IRL face-to-face gaming, which is one of my big hobbies that I do. I play X-Wing, which is a tabletop miniatures game. And we were finally allowed to have our first face-to-face tournament at the weekend. So there was a lot of preparation that went into that. The reason I have a lot of prep for that, hey, I did even plumb the docks in. The reason I have a lot of prep for that over and above a normal player is, one, at the moment, due to recovering from a fairly significant injury at Christmas, I am entirely reliant on someone giving me a lift to an all-day event like that. So that had to be arranged. And also, I help run the tournament, so I help answer rules questions and things like that. So it was a very long and very busy day, took up an entire Saturday, which meant I then had to do everything that I didn't do on the Saturday on the Sunday and still get a stream out. So yeah, it's been a busy couple of days, couple of weeks. It's heading for a couple of months at this rate. So yeah, as I said to you when you passed over or you told me that you've put it up on the workshop, it might be a while till I get a chance to look at it, but once I do, I will get in contact with you on Discord and let you know what I thought. It won't be on a stream, it won't be anything like that. I will literally send you a DM on Discord going, hey, I had a look at it, this is what I thought. Because that's the fairest way of doing it. That looks great at the bottom and looks terrible at the top. It's almost like I need to go back. That's not great either. That's... Now I've missed it, so we've got to go all the way back through again. There we go. And I do sort of like it. This just felt way too open here in the middle. I wanted a way of carrying that pillar on up through. I'm starting to think this is worth Or more hassle than it's worth. Bad idea. Let's try again. Let's try something else. And that's the wrong set of blocks. Hey, look at that. There we go. I mean, Dovahkiin, in all seriousness, if you want some feedback on your rover, feel free in the Space Engineers channel on my Discord. Please feel free to drop a link to it, and you may get some of the others give you some feedback faster than I can. Especially if you know, post it up there letting people know that you're after feedback. Because yeah, I'm aware that I may not have provided the feedback as fast as you would have liked, but I did warn you that, you know, there's no guarantee on time for me actually looking at stuff. Life has a habit of getting in the way. Okay. So the next thing I want to play with is I want to see what the different... We're basically going to use this strip of armour plates because I want to see what the different skins look like as we go through. So that's our battered armour. Clean. Rusty. Ooh, I like that one. That's worth knowing that there's a sort of riveted plate version. Yep, that's good shout. Thank you, Dovahkiin. Yeah, that should still work. Okay, we are not using glitter. That's not happening. Camouflage is not happening. I think that's just silver. Ooh, disco's not happening. Ooh, that's a useful texture to know. That's a very useful texture to know. Yeah, mossy, digicam. Carbon fiber's alright. Basically, what I'm looking for... Ooh, that has possibilities. I'm looking for detail blocks with this. I'm looking to see what's going to give me some good detail with the least amount of effort. And at the minute, that and that are definitely winning. Concrete's pretty useful. Hazard stripes still don't line up. And back to the start. So, don't like that one, don't like that one. Don't like that one or that one. All those. That's useful. No, doesn't really fit. Carbon fibre doesn't really fit. Frosted definitely doesn't work. Neon was always going to be questionable. I don't want the heavy rust. That's a bit too much at the minute. But that light, dusty one may have a purpose around a landing bay. But then again, we're in an area that's open to space. So, nope. Concrete is just useful. Don't need a reminder of that. So that has got to be... That's got to be sci-fi and retro future, hasn't it? That's what that's got to be on there. Grab that. Let's have a look. Yeah, so that's retro future, and I'm going to bet that that one is sci-fi. Yep, sci-fi and retro future. Should have guessed. Two of the best sets of armour skins that Keen have ever put together. Okay, so now we know we've got those available. Let's put them to use. So, let's start with the sci-fi. because that works to give that a nice bit of detail running along there. Now we probably don't want... Probably want back to our... Oh, that's the battered armour. Is that our default then? Is our default clean armour? No, it's not clean armour. What the heck is our default on then? Ah, it must be no skin. Yeah, it's no skin. There we go. No worries, Dovahkiin. To be honest, the stream's only going on for another 10 minutes anyway, so thank you for stopping by. This will be carrying on for several weeks, as you can probably tell by how many tiles we've got to update. So yeah, this isn't going to be a quick process, and we're going to build a map together. I'm aiming for this to be a Halloween event ready thing. That's the aim. It's having this ready by Halloween. So that's what we're aiming for. Right. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's do the same down the other side. There we go. Now I'm not going to run it all the way through. No, it wasn't that one. It's just going to be faster if I open the picker again. There we go. So what I'm thinking is maybe there and there. Just having a bit of detail in. Yeah, just to spice things up a little bit. Damn, those headlights are bright. And that also means... I wonder what happens... So the retro feature is not quite as nice on those. What about the sci-fi? It's not huge. I mean, you've got the sci-fi there, and that's the no skin. There is basically no difference there. Basically no difference at all. Which is a bit of a disappointment, but oh well. Yeah, there's literally no difference at all between the sci-fi and the no armour skin on the bottom of those. So that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate, but I wonder... Sure, we've still got our sci-fi on. I wonder what these look like in sci-fi. Do they have anything? Nope. Well, they do colour up. That's the important bit. They do actually change sometimes. Because yeah, neon is a good way of finding out if the block you're looking at actually has an alternate skin. Right. Do we keep the vents? Or do we swap them for armour panel? I actually want to keep those. They line up quite nicely with these corridor bits, so we'll keep that in there. Just trying to get detail in. And I'm thinking we'll switch over to armour panels for the floor. Just a standard armour panel. What we might do is... how does it look with carbon fibre? Let's have a I'm thinking that might look like safety matting or something like that, so we'll give that a try. Or cancel that for a second. Do we try and make these hazard stripes work? I think we try and make these hazard stripes work, you know? Just clearly define. Oh my lord. Look, I'm not being funny, Keen, but really? You can't get your hazard stripe textures to line up? You know, that's not terribly offensive, but that's just bad. Yeah, we'll get some zebra stripes going down here apparently. But it is the sort of thing that you would have on a docking bay floor. Just to mark the area where, if you are standing here, a spaceship might flatten you. There we go. And equally, as we've got some doorways down here... Oh, this is going to hurt the eyes. Unfortunately, this is just going to hurt the eyes. There is not a lot I can do about it. Just... Ugh. Hey, Casa! Welcome, welcome, welcome. You've literally just missed Dovahkiin. I'm just lamenting the fact that Space Engineers hasn't worked out how to properly tile a skin yet. Because, yeah, these don't line up. These do not line up at all. So, Casa, time to give you the rundown on my silly project. Ooh, those don't look too bad though. I bet these don't tile either. Oh great, so they can do it for the little skinny blocks, but they can't figure it out for the proper size blocks. Ugh. Right, Casa. So, I mean, we've only got about 10 minutes, so you're sort of here. What we're doing is there is a board game that exists called Space Hulk, which is made up of lots of map tiles and involves people trying to fight their way through tight, twisty little corridors like this that are full of horrible, nasty things, which in Space Engineers are called turrets. Apparently I haven't... Oh no, I deliberately chose to leave that as a four-way. But anyway, but yeah, so ages ago I decided to recreate Space Hulk in Space Engineers, and it's mostly worked, but I wasn't 100% happy with it. We may have got carried away with the size of some of the map tiles, that they became miniature maps in their own right. I mean, the hospital in particular, this thing is just a complete maze of hospital beds and all sorts of stuff in here. I mean, you can go upstairs and there's another ward, and yeah, it's me and there was one of my friends from the server were working on this together as a project, and we got a bit carried away. I mean, over here we've got a misfiring test lab, because we have these special effects blocks that we can use in Space Engineers. So we've got one of them pouring smoke, one of them pouring fire, and one with lightning coming out of it to show off the fact that that engine is a little bit Broken? We'll go with broken. But all of these you can just copy and paste quickly within Space Engineers and stick them together, and you end up building things like this. Now, it doesn't look like much on the outside, but that's because it's not really designed to be looked at from the outside. It's meant to be played through on the inside. So if we... let's come down to the launch bay. Let's look at it from here this time round. So if we come in here, you know, you'll find your doors shut that you've got to get through, either by hacking, grinding or whatever. And then if you come in here, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to get shot by this turret. So you've got to deal with that. You know, you've then got all sorts of little cubby holes. You can come up here, you'll trip that sensor as you come up the stairs, which will turn on those massive Gatling gun turrets. You've got a button here that will open the hangar door, and that will really make those turrets angry. Yeah, if you do that, expect a fight on your hands. You've got little offices, and all of these link through. You go this way. You've got a nice big cargo hold, but you know, you've got turret there. There's a turret there, and basically these cargo containers have got loot in them. So that's got a pistol with some ammo. What's that one got in it? That one, you know, some are empty. Because I'm a mean games master. That has got a stack of 10 zone ships in it, which are really valuable. Because they are the only way you can power a safe zone, which makes you immortal. Or makes your base immortal and anything around it. So, you know, high level pistol in there. It's just, you know, and all of these shelves contain loot. So you break them down for parts and you get the loot out of them. You know, that is full of really high level expensive loot. Gravity components, reactor components, thrusters, superconductors. So my plan is, I haven't actually run an event on our current server yet. It's only a month or so old, so we haven't had any events this time. I want to put one of these on. It's not technically a Halloween event, but it sort of is going to be a Halloween event. Yes, exactly. You've got to get there and not die. Shooty and Shooty over here. These are capital ship grade Gatling guns. These will absolutely ruin a player character. They will pretty much take out anything that will fit through that docking bay as well. And you get things like in here, this is gas processing. So you come in here, you deal with those turrets there and there, and you think you're safe. You open the door and you get shot in the face. And this little turret, he's well defended. But yeah, so my plan over the next couple of weeks, because it's going to take that long. Oh, this is one I'm particularly proud of. So you come down the corridor this way with your gun, and you go, oh, there's a turret, and you deal with it. And then you know, we've dealt with the turret, great, come around the corner and get shot. Because I mean like that. And even coming this way, it's, brilliant, right, deal with the turret, oh, there's another one. But yeah, so my plan is over the next few Wednesdays. First, I need to update the map tiles, because since I last built them, I really should open that door. Yeah, since I last built them, we've got a whole bunch of new blocks. So that's what I was doing when you joined us, Carson. I was applying new blocks and new skins to the big, huge, grand landing dock that we've got here. You know, we've got some of the new fancy hydrogen tanks, some of the new fancy pipes, just generally sprucing things up a little bit. You know, we've redone the interior of the customs area, because this used to have some angled blocks to hold the ceiling up, but we've now got flat panels, so the partition walls can go all the way up to the roof. So yeah, it's just coming up with... Oh, and we now have our little hydrogen go-kart. So this little thing has got special blocks on it in Space Engineers called artificial mass, which means that your vehicle will actually react to an artificial gravity generator, which is what's sat in the middle of the floor there. That isn't normally there. So you can build these little go-karts that will drive around the inside of your space station. And they're actually sized so that you can drive them through the gates into other areas. This one is designed for carrying gas, so hydrogen and oxygen. Let's see how badly I can 3-point park this thing. Whee! Unfortunately, it's a little electric go-kart. It does not drive very fast, so you've got plenty of opportunity to correct your line of travel, as it were. There we go. Then you just reverse it up, lower your suspension, and lock it on. And then you can pull gas out of there, load it into your truck, and I don't know, go and refuel a spaceship that's docked in this massive docking slip. Because that's what this area is for. These are big magnetic clamps, basically. And you fly a spaceship in, stick its nose to the wall, and then it's docked. So, what I need to do is come up with something slightly less irritating for the floor pattern. So we've got some scatter stuff down here, and we haven't armed this. All of these blank tiles that we've got here, so you know, the hospital, the cargo area, apart from the landing bay, all of these are just blank. They're not armed, they're not populated, you know, there's no turrets in them, anything like that. We do that once we've stuck it all together. So that'll be the sort of final design stages. But yeah, I'm looking for input from the chat as we go, because I think this is going to be much better and much more interesting. And I will be publishing the finished one on the Space Engineers Workshop mod.io, so we can all share in the lunacy that is having a go at this. And if we have somehow managed to have a conversation privately by then, Casa, where because I know you're interested in doing some playing of Space Engineers together. If we happen to have a server, you may even get a chance to have a play through this. The other thing I'm going to do once we've updated all the tiles is I'm going to duplicate the world, because these tiles only exist in this world. They're not uploaded as separate blueprints or anything like that. And once I've done that, I'm going to create modded versions, because mods will give me so many more options for weapons, mainly, that you have to deal with. It's scary dealing with a Gatling turret. It's really scary dealing with a 40mm automatic cannon. So yeah, we do have mods available now on the servers, so we can spice things up a little bit. But yeah, so I'm unfortunately gonna have to end it there, as it's 10:10, and I should really have finished at 10 o'clock tonight, because work tomorrow morning. But I felt it was worthwhile bringing you up to speed on the project, as I would encourage any feedback that you've got, any suggestions. especially as I know you've got a bit of an RPG background to you yourself as well, so you can already tell where my evil DM head is at for this. Actually, there is one thing that needs to happen before I log off, and that is I need to get a bug. I need a gun bug. These are really, really cheap little disposable fighters, and I use that in the loosest sense of the term. This is about as minimal as you can make a functional spacecraft in Space Engineers. It's a fuel tank, a cockpit, the blocks to make it move, and thrusters in all directions. Ah, well, funny you mentioned what happens if we die, but one of the rooms that you can unlock in your exploration is this one. Survival kit on and off, which allows you to have a respawn point. So as you're exploring that, you'll either respawn at whatever ship brought you here, or you can start turning on the respawn points as you're exploring through. There's another one that turns on gravity, but that might not work unless you've turned the power on first. As I said, I'm evil. I'm also a DM of quite some years' experience, so I'm even more evil than your most common people. Anyway, gun bug. Traditional thing that must be done when I'm on this save file. This is a maintenance hangar. You know, nothing special. You just come in here and you find your little gun bug. Parked on the floor, docked up nicely. If you want evil, I'll show you evil in a second, Cast. But I need to do this. So you get in your cockpit and you position yourself over these nice big doors in the floor. And you drop down. Now we're switching to first person because this needs to be done in first person. And you launch. And I may have played too much attention to Battlestar Galactica. Yes, I have made Viper launch tubes. Anyway, as we're in our gun bug, we'll come over to the evil section. So, what we have in the evil section is these are a series of ion thrusters, so they just run on battery power. However, they are set into the side of a corridor, and as you can see are randomly firing. If you're in survival mode and walk through here while one of those fires, you get slightly cooked. So you've got to time your run down this corridor. Oh, see, you've got cooked a few times through there. So that's one. And you can't do anything about that because there's all the timer blocks. Good luck. And this room is the most evil by far, and I cannot take credit for this one. This was designed by the gentleman that was helping me build stuff for the server. And the reason it's evil is this is basically the floor is lava. So each one of these blocks here with the little conveyor access is a welder, and they're on. They are active welders. So if you walk on that floor in survival mode, Mr. Welder cooks you if you tread on it. So this is an invisible maze. So you have to work out through trial and pain what the safe route is through the room. So that's evil. That's really evil. My only alteration I'm going to make to this is just as a warning as you come into this room. Yeah, trial and pain. I'm gonna replace a random tile every so often with a sheet of glass, just so that people can see that there's a welding pit underneath this floor. Because otherwise it's a little bit too mean just having someone bumble into a room and get cooked. So yeah, that's the sort of thing that we're going to be building. And if anyone else has some silly ideas for traps, I'm all up for that. So what we'll do is we'll come to the promenade. And as you're a Star Trek fan, Elsa, I know that you can probably guess a particular series and a particular set that may have influenced my promenade and bar area. The time I used this, we even had a elevated walkway with windows around the top. Unfortunately, the shops are a little bit more compact, so we've got contract dealers and shop blocks in here. But yeah, this is my very own little bar. So we'll go and see what was in the kitchen. Oh, good, I didn't actually leave anything in here. Yeah, that's the one, DS9. It's as close as I could get to a homage to it in Space Engineers, whilst still fitting to my floor plan. Because each of these big ones is on exactly the same tile size, so that they'll actually properly tessellate like a map set. So yeah, but yeah, we'll have a seat in the bar, and that's where we'll end the stream for tonight. We'll have a prune juice, the true drink of warriors. So anyway, thank you all for coming along. I hope it's been fun. Yes, indeed. We will pick this up next Wednesday. I will be back on Sunday with Tom with more learning how to build stuff in Space Engineers and learning how survival works. That series is going up on YouTube. I've got a couple of weeks backlog because life has been life. So if you do, hint hint, Casa, want some very long-winded and completely incident-filled videos that might give you some hints on survival, that's where to find them. In fact, if I do a one of these... Oh, are you going to play ball keyboard? Is this too much for you with all the technical gremlins I've had tonight? Hey, it works. So yeah, that is my YouTube VOD archive. There's all sorts of random stuff going up on there. Project Map Tile, which is what I'm going to call this, will also be going up on there. If I catch any of the people playing on my server trying to get sneaky hints as to where I'm hiding all the guns, I will be very disappointed, but I will applaud your intelligence, gentlemen, as everyone on the server at the minute falls under that category. So, thank you all for coming along. It has been a pleasure as always. Sorry it is a bit of a shorter stream, but, well, Microsoft struck. So, that was out of my hands. But yeah, have fun, stay safe, keep playing games, and I will catch you all Sunday, hopefully. Night night.